personally, at a Division III level, I feel like it really hasn't affected me a whole lot, but I think on a bigger scope, professional athletes, especially black athletes, are looked on a little tougher right now. For example, Colin Kaepernick, who actually hadn't done anything physical to anyone, just for taking a knee, is looked on, has a bigger scope, and no one really wants to sign him because of his actions and standing up for himself.
It has been shown that 66.7% of media coverage regarding crime dealt with black athletes compared to only 22.2% for white athletes.
When it relates to domestic and sexual violence, the trend is similar. 70.6% focused on black athletes, whereas only 17.6% were on white athletes.
When it comes to training, work ethic, and dedication, 42.9% of articles are focused on white athletes, while only 35.7% are focused on black athletes.
Well, first of all, I would say, in response to the first part of your statement, that some athletes claim that African Americans have a biological predisposition to athletics, I would say rubbish.
Sports media coverage continues to showcase African American athletes through a negative lens. Research has illustrated that African Americans have been stereotyped in the media as deviant and often linked to crime.
Furthermore, African Americans have been stereotyped as sex-seeking and unable to control their impulses. This is evident by the rampant coverage of Magic Johnson following the news that he had contracted HIV.
So, by sort of suggesting that black Americans have certain characteristics in sport, what you're actually doing is creating a discriminatory discourse, which not eliminates, but it diminishes their possibility of access to some sports and diminishes their possibility of access to some positions in sport.
The media is engaging in confirmation bias, not reporting articles and stories that showcase African American athletes in a positive light.
Something needs to be done in order to counteract the racial media bias of sports reportings. In an era where media plays a large role within society, social media campaigns should spread awareness of positive news stories of African American athletes and combat articles that rely on negative stereotypes.
Yeah, I just think it's really on the parents, teaching your kids at a young age what to do, what not to do, how to see people, how to view people, what to say in the right scenarios. And I think it just starts at the basic level as kids growing up, because when you're growing up, your brain isn't fully developed. So as you grow up, you learn the rights and wrongs, and that way I think we can become better as a sports.